Hello! Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone today? And, hello, Draftkey. I'll go ahead and apologize in advance. Sorry if I'm a little low energy today. I've been really busy. And a lot of disappointing things have happened. So, probably not gonna be as high energy as I usually am, so just, yeah. Okay. We arranged to meet tomorrow morning, then I quickly leave the shrine behind. No, so they canceled, like, last second on the jury duty thing. Like literally, like last second, the guy looked at me without a shred of sarcasm in his face and told me that they canceled it. Like, even though I had already, like, did all my preparations and drove all the way there. And they just said, nah, you're good. You didn't have to waste any of that time. Fantastic. But on the good side, my jury service for the year is over, so I'm done with that. I'm done with that arc in my life. But, not gonna lie, it was a little frustrating. Okay, it was really frustrating. like just imagine, like calling somebody out on like a 2-day notice. And then, like, when they show up after your, like, ridiculous demands, they're like, never mind, we was just joking. We were just fooling you, it was a big prank. So stupid, man. So you have no blood on your hands? Not yet. I didn't get to send anyone to the gulag, unfortunately. I breathed a sigh of relief at the sparsity of pedestrians on Mansebashi Bridge. We did it, Kurisu. We got the femboy! Well, just girl in this route, but yeah! Wow! I'd like to. Oh my god. I mean, technically you could do that. I just don't think it'd be a good idea, Draft. Tutaru mother effers daily Mayushi gif in general. Oh, let's see. Enough of the reviews. It's time for the taste test. Let's go. The daily Mayushi requirements have been met. Ruben gets to stay for another day. Sounded like a threat. How you doing though, Ruben? Good to see you. You can apply to be executioners if you have a pay stub from a prison. Are you memeing or is that real? Krisu is walking behind me. I get to live another day based. She is completely useless. You know, I'm not gonna lie. Krisu was kinda useless. But I mean, like, he could have done it by himself the whole time, so I don't know why he didn't just do it. But I mean, I won't lie, she was kind of useless in that situation. In that situation. It truly is the choice of Steins game. If I become a janitor, get a paycheck, I could apply to execute someone. Hey man, they need somebody to do it.
結局付き合うことになったの？まあ、漆原さんのリアクション見てたらなんとなく予想はつくけど。
I mean, like, what do you mean, Draftkey? Like, to do, like, executions on, like, a death row job or something? Is that what you mean? Yeah? Oh, okay. I mean, would that really be that fun, though? You'd just be injecting a needle 90% of the time, though. You don't get to chop anyone's head off like back in my day. Back in my day when you could just chop someone's head off. Where are we at the moment? Okay. So Okabe just agreed to be Lukaku's boyfriend. Finally, thank God, the man woke up. And I think it's just the day after. I'm pretty sure. Well, wait, no, I don't think it's the day after. But he did agree to be your boyfriend. All right, it's daytime. Yeah. It could be hitting on a chick at a big bar and be like, yeah, I've killed someone. Isn't that like a red flag, though, Draft? Is that what you want to be telling someone you just met? I mean, yes, you'll eventually trigger more red flags. Because... That's mean, I shouldn't say it. But, I mean, you could lie initially. You don't have to self-report immediately. You know what I mean? They'll be like, oh, he's crazy psychos would get turned on by a shirt. Oh, God. Lying is immoral and wrong. I feel like that might be your only moral. That is a good moral, I mean. And you know what? That's good moral to have. Lying is bad. Remember, kids, don't lie. Kind of shit would attract the yandere type. Can they just remake American Psycho, but instead of like Christian Bale playing Patrick Bateman, it's just Draftkey? I could 100% see Draftkey as Patrick Bateman. American Psycho is a based movie. True. I think American Psycho is one of those movies that, like, I just love it because of how goofy I find it.
Omae, 見ていたのか? 岡部が見てろと言ったんだろ?
A solid social satire and dark comedy. Yeah, like, it is legitimately a good movie, but it's like some of those scenes, I don't know if it's just like the way they aged, but they're so funny. like when he just like goes into that one building and the receptionist is like, hello sir, how are you doing today? And he's like just like reaching in his coat pocket. I'm like, what's my man doing? He just grabs a gun, he's like, and just caps her right then and there. I'm like, Jesus Christ. No reason at all. Oh God, I love that movie though. Oh yeah. I was expecting her to give me advice. Guess I should have known better.
明日デートだそうだ。
Kurisu makes a small nasal sound. She didn't like that. She didn't like that. Dude, if this was a Telltale game, you'd see a little... You see right here in the top right corner, there'd be a little text box that says Kurisu will remember that. Oh my God. I wonder, do any of you actually like Telltale games? They're the people that made like the Walking Dead games and like Big Bad Wolf. I thought Big Bad Wolf was pretty good. Pretty sure at the end he was wilding out with hallucinations. It's actually a really good movie. Everything done is intentional. Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot of theories going on with like what is and isn't a hallucination, which I think is good. They aren't bad games. Yeah, they're not bad games. Like I said, I loved Big Bad Wolf. I just wasn't too crazy about anything else. She hasn't been making eye contact.
狂気のマッドサイエンティストさんって 女子高生とデートしたりするのね。ちっとも狂気じゃないな。
That's not insane at all. Depends on the age difference. I'm kidding. I know that they're like around the same age, but the most general understanding is that practically all the murders did happen. Really, because I have a friend that thinks like Patrick Bateman only killed like 1 or 2 people. Well, that's his theory, at least. Like, his explanation was something like, he killed 1 person and then he started going insane and paranoid, and started imagining killing a bunch of other people. That was his theory, at least. Dang you, Kurisu! Must you always be so cynical? Let's just ignore her and get to the lab. Patrick Bateman versus Patrick Batman. Oh yeah, Christian Bale played Batman one time, didn't he? But just as I quicken my pace, she grabs my shoulder and pulls me back. I almost fall down backwards.
何をする。
ごめん。ちょっとイライラしてて、言い方がきつくなった。
I wonder why she's a little irritated. Little tsundere. It's okay, Kurisu. Kurisu doesn't tell me what she's irritated about. Come on, we know. Instead, she starts rubbing her temples. The point of the story is that the society Patrick lives in is so superficial, self-absorbed, and materialistic that they didn't care or even really notice. Right. I don't think I'll ever be able to take the business card scene seriously, though, after all the memes. Oh, hold on. Okay, I'm back. God. Today just keeps getting better. Everything wants to get in my way. I don't know why. Okay. Alright. Instead, she starts rubbing her temples.
あんたはマユリを助けるためにこの選択をしたのよね。私も考え方を切り替える。
Oh, let me catch up on chat. I'm sorry, guys. The business court scene on its own is so hilarious, but the memes elevate it to god status. Just another example of the high-class society Patrick lives in being so far up their own butt that they're competing over effing business courts that all look the same! From what I understand about Patrick's character is that he is just a product of his environment. He's just as soulless and self-absorbed as all of them. But he so desires his own identity and being noticed that it drove him to be a serial killer to do just that. Yeah. It's a good movie, man. I mean, like, it'd have to be a good movie if it's, like, still being, like, referenced to this day, you know? In a positive way.
で、明日デートするにしてもプランはあるの？
Date plans. I told Lukako I'd come up with something by tomorrow. So far, I've made no progress. I can't help but feel uneasy about the... Oh, Jesus. Whole thing. Even though I'm doing it to save my Eri. You like Huey Lewis and the news? Check General? Oh, right, you did tell me to check General. I'm sorry, Jeffkey. If Chris Chan wrote American Psycho... This doesn't have, like, a slur or anything in it, does it? Nothing, like, homophobic or anything. I'm only asking because it's Chris Chan. No? Okay.
What do you think?
Oh,
Jesus
Christ.
Look at that.
I developed the lore last night. She's a lynx. She's Sonic's ex-girlfriend. Her name's Puddles. She's so fast she time travels.
That's nothing. Look at this.
That is
Oh my
really nice.
God.
Lancer the Ocelot. He's a vor.
What do you think? Nice. Jesus, that is
Jesus.
really super. How did it like you get so tasteful? I can't believe that Bryce prefers Van Patten's OC to mine. You ain't seen nothing yet. Garrett, the groundhog. 14
Oh my God.
Impressive. Very nice.
Very nice.
Let's see Paul Allen's OC.
Let's see Paul Allen's OC. What do you got, Paul
Look at
Allen?
those spikes.
Oh my
Take
God.
some photos of it.
That's just Blaze.
God.
That's
That's big
Blaze.
mommy milkers.
Something wrong, Patrick? You're sweating.
It's literally just Blaze the cat. That was good. That was good. Oh, that was nice. I like how one of those was just Peter Griffin. I can't help but feel uneasy about the whole thing, even though I'm doing it to save my Eri.
どうなのよ。
This calls for Halloween Kilbo.
助手よ、お前に一言言っておく。アイザック・ニュートンと同じく IQ170 に生まれついたこの俺、法王院京馬は狂気のマッドサイエンティストである。
Don't just stare at it, eat it. You know what the best scene of that movie was? Is when he like dumped his like, was it his girlfriend or his fiance? Either one. And then like she's like, "Why? Where are you going?" And he's like, "I have to return some videotapes." It's just get out of jail free card, man. I swear to God. I have to return some videotapes. His fiance, yeah. God almighty. Listen, Y'all don't make me F around. I might just read all of Rintaro's lines as Patrick Bateman from now on. Don't make me. Fun fact, I don't know if you heard about the FBI leaks, but apparently it was a bunch of Discord teens playing hacker. I have no God-given clue what you're talking about, Jafke.
それで
当然マッドサイエンティストである以上興味があるのは女よりも研究であり世界を陰で操る支配構造の破壊混沌の創造であり
どう見ても童貞です。本当にありが
just came out right with it. She's crying. He's like, I'm sorry, but you're not terribly important to me. Crack me up. I know, right? Do it, Mochi. Voice Rintaro as Patrick Bateman. Top secret FBI files were leaked last week. That sounds about right. Why am I lagging so much on stream? It says I've dropped like 717 frames since I've started already. Am I gonna have to switch to regular Mochi? What the hell is going on? I might have to switch to still Mochi. Jesus Christ. It totally fits as both of their performances are so over the top. I mean, Carissa, you pretty much basically outed yourself at this point as like a 4chaner, so I mean, like, there's not really much to hide at this point.
おのれこの女子風情がよくもズケズケと真実をついてくれたな許さない絶対にだ
ごめん
Actually apologize, wow. Sorry, Christina, you played yourself.
大体そういうお前はどうなのだ俺に講義を垂れるほどにデート経験は豊富なのか
Throwing rocks in glass houses, I see. Alright, it's Patrick Bateman time. I don't miss Christina's grimace.
それ見ろお前だって勉強や研究に明け暮れてそういった経験はゼロなのだろ遠いアメリカの地で寂しい青春時代を送ってきたのだろ
That's right, you're both virgins. I mean, you called him a virgin first, to be absolutely fair, Karisu. To be fair, you started this. You threw the first blow. Nearly went full on Hanyu there for a moment. Ow, ow, ow. Rintaro's so base that he F's without losing his virginity because he never loses. Exactly.
秋葉の中心でバージンと叫ぶ18歳天才少女か
I wouldn't be so surprised to see it plastered across the blogosphere. Thankfully, it's early morning, but there are still a few pedestrians grinning at Karistu. Karistu starts to hurry away.
女の子との初デートで重要なのは相手に与える印象をいかに良くするかである。
Yeah.
不潔な格好は論外。特に髪はきちんと散髪すること。長髪は汚らしく見えるので NG。
Dang. I don't know, some girls like dudes with long hair. Otherwise, there wouldn't be so many dudes with long hair, I think.
不 服装に関してもぴったり合ったサイズのものを着ていくこと。特に秋葉系の男子は大きめのサイズの服を好んで着ている傾向にあるが、これはだらしなく見えるのでよくない。
Why exactly am I in a maid cafe getting date advice from my younger assistant, who is also a girl?
初デートではお互いに緊張していることもあって会話が途切れがち。重要なのは会話のキャッチボール。一方的に話すだけでは相手が楽しいはずがない。特に女性は会話をするのが大好きなので、むしろ男性は女性の話を聞く側に回ってあげるべき。ただ聞くだけではなく、きちんと相槌を打つことが必要。そうすることで女性は話をちゃんと聞いてくれる人だと思うはず。
I don't think it's like a girl exclusive thing. I think this is just a general good advice for dates. Brother's so hopeless, they're getting dating tips from a book. It's over. It's over. Wait, are they reading from a book? Today's menu is a double bacon mushroom jalapeno pepper jack burger with animal fries. Take away mushrooms and that would be based. Except for mushrooms, that sounds really good.
つまりいつも通りの岡部じゃ全く話にならないってことね。
No. I don't know, I think Okabe is like kinda kempt a little. Okay, no he's not, never mind, I'm sorry. I've lied to all of you.
とりあえず普通に喋ることから始めないと。あ、例のバカっぽい高笑いは当然禁止ってことで。そもそもあんたって女の子に優しくないのよね。普段の物言いが尊大すぎる。というか偉そうでムカつく。電波妄想も垂れ流すし。
デートマニュアル本を音読しているだけの文在で上から目線はやめろ、このメリケン少女めが。
Jesus. The guy has a harem around him. What the F are you talking about, Kurisu? Since neither of us knows anything about romance, we're studying out of a dating manual we bought on the way here.
誰がメリケン少女だ。
お前以外に誰がいる？
はいはい、童貞オツ。
Dude, they're literally made for each other. It's actually just like it's comical how made for each other Kurisu and Rintaro are. It's actually comical. I'm forced to choose between Bear Daddy and Dragon Mommy. I don't know who Dragon Mommy is, but I'd say go for Dragon Mommy. Oh wait, is that Leah? Is Leah streaming? Oh, Leah is streaming. Yeah, go watch Leah. Gotta give Leah all the love.
知ってる？一度も侵入を許していない砦は頼もしくて、一度も侵入に成功しない兵士は頼りないっていう格言。
I knew she was a wolf dragon, but she changes her lore kind of. She's changed her lore pretty often, so it's hard to keep up with. You'd have to be delusional to not think they're made for each other at this point, honestly, yeah. Leah started streaming same time as Yumochi. Based. Based 7 PM streamers, rise up.
それは格言じゃないだろう。というか、低レベルな争いにおいて勝ち誇るな。
確かに。なんだか虚しくなってきた。
In your time zone at 6:30.
でも、このデートマニュアルって結構面白いこと書いてあるな。
Kurisu flips through the manual on top of the table.
自分はさりげなく車道側を歩くとか、 女の子にお金を出させるのは現金とか。いい？これ明日のデートで全部守らないとダメよ。
That's terrible advice, by the way. Not the road thing, but like making sure your date doesn't pay for anything, because that's just gonna make them feel uncomfortable. The best way to take that is just to like split the bill, basically, or I don't know, just like half and half, basically. I wonder if I can really be that careful.
あとは清潔なハンカチを持っていくこと。女の子が公園のベンチに座るときはすぐに広げてあげること。
俺は世話係ではない。
そう書いてあるんだからしょうがないでしょ。ご飯は立ち食いそばとかファーストフードは避ける。ファミレスがボーダーライン。それ以上は自分の財布の中身と相談して。
Hey, fast food can be fun. That is a 15th century way of thinking, Draftkey. Holy shit. That's like the Stone Age way of thinking. What? My mind is blown. Let's see what they have in common. They're both tsunderes, have a mask of confidence to hide their loneliness, are both stubborn and proud fools, have a massive interest in science, and are both terrible at romance. Yep, it all checks out. I don't get what you're trying to say, Draft. You can make, like, a small offer to pay. If she says no, then drop it. I don't get your argument here, Draft. Like, are you suggesting that romance is just throwing money at somebody? It's pretty sus, man. I'm not gonna lie. I've never had a chick say they don't want me to pay. I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, that's just not every woman on the planet. Yes, in your personal experience, that might be the case. But that's not, like, the overall, or even the majority case, is what I'm trying to say. The reason why it's bad advice to, like, just offer to pay for everything on a date is because it creates a sort of, like, expectation. It's basically like that nice guy mindset of like, oh, well, I paid for your food, so what are you gonna give me, huh? Like, I paid for it all, if that makes sense. And you want to avoid that at all cost. You know what I mean? It's hilarious how much people still make a big deal about the paying thing. They either pay for themselves or they don't. That's it. Exactly, yeah. I generally just suggest, like, paying for your own food and have them pay for their food, and usually everyone's happy that way. Yeah, nice guy mindset is terrible, yeah. If you ask them out, they're gonna expect you to pay. That just says more about them than you. Like, if someone's using you for a free meal, then that's like a sign to like, oh, yikes. Where are the family restaurants at Akiba? Hey, take her to May Queen. Girls love cat maids. Girls love the cat maids.
待ち合わせ場所には最低15分前には来ておくこと。遅刻厳禁。
15分前到着。
I mean, I do agree that you early, just being there on time or early, whatever. Usually early's best. That's just Just being polite.
あとはデートコースね。映画館とか美術館、街をブラブラ歩く食事っていうのが無難だし。
なるほど。意外と地味なんだな。
I'm not saying you can't pay for their meal draft key. I'm just saying it's generally not a good idea. Like I said, you can kind of just like throw in like a little quick, hey, if you want, I can buy your meal for you. But if you're not comfortable with that, that's totally okay. And if they're not comfortable with that, just don't do it and just split the bill. Because I'm telling you, it's not like it's not fantasy. It's not fanfic. It's not source. I made it up. Some girls are not cool with like getting everything paid for them. That's not fantasy. That's reality. They exist. And I didn't make it up, okay? I've been on dates too, believe it or not. It's kind of terrible that some guys out there expect to get a kiss or sex for just paying for their meal or whatever else. True acts of kindness are never done with give back in mind. That just shows ulterior motive. Yeah, we're just bad people at the end of the day if you do that. Like, if you're like trying to coax someone into something, then like you're not a very good person. How often do you have your date pay for their own meal? Depends on if they're comfortable with it or not. Like the last person I was dating, one time there was like a stressful situation of trying to like split the bill because I just couldn't communicate properly with the waiter. So I just kind of paid for the whole thing, and she wasn't comfortable with that. She wanted to split the bill and pay for her own. She was like not incredibly happy about that. It didn't make her feel incredibly comfortable. And that's understandable, but like I think at that time I was just frustrated because like I couldn't like I was trying to ask the waiter to if he could split the bill, and he's like, "What? What?" I'm just like, "Come on, man! Like, oh, fine, I'll just pay for it." Like, there's nice people and there's kind people. Exactly, yeah.
俺はてっきり初デートというぐらいだから、夕焼けの綺麗なリゾート風海岸へ行き、そこでファーストキスを交わさなければならないのかと。
あ、それすごくロマンチック。じゃなくて童貞思考全開だな。ドラマや漫画の見過ぎ。
Hey, you agreed at first, Kurisu. You agreed at first.
お前もな。
ちなみに相手は未成年なんだから、ホテルに連れ込もうなんて不潔なこと考えないでよ。
Was it a situation where the waiter for some reason couldn't hear you? That's pretty annoying. After the third time, I'd give up and do what you did. I think it was a language barrier. I don't know, honestly. I thought I made it pretty clear. It was just like, listen, man, I just want to split the bill so I can pay for the food that I ordered and she pay for the food she ordered. Like I laid it out very clear for him, but he just couldn't understand me for some reason. I don't know, Rentaro. You did kind of commit a crime on this same person already. You know, like it's not out of the ballpark for you, Rentaro. I mean, yeah, that's base, Draftkey. That's base though. That way lie. That way lie forbidden lust. What? Not to mention Lukako's such an innocent girl. If I brought her to our hotel, she'd probably faint from shock. Rentaro's committed crimes on 2 ladies, actually. It did? I only remember Lukaku. Kurisu? What did he do to Kurisu? I do not remember. I guess we didn't specify the place. I generally take chicks to buffets where it's like $10 per person. If it's like a buffet, I guess I can understand.
ま、ざっとこんなところね。どう？私のレクチャー、少しは役に立った？
What do you mean it ends there? Do you just throw your hands up and say I give up? You only eat at buffets? When he practically assaulted her the first time they met after... Oh yeah, he did do that, didn't he? He's not got a good streak going, I'll say that much.
お前のレクチャーではなく、マニュアル本のレクチャーだろう。
Anyway, strolling around town counts as a date, huh? In that case, I don't have to waste money.
にゃにゃ。今日誰かとデートするのかにゃ。
What human being doesn't jump at all you can eat? True. Well, actually, it depends on the buffet place. If it's a Golden Corral, I'm not going. I don't trust Golden Corral. I don't trust Golden Corral like that. Ferris comes to our table carrying drinks.
お待たせしました。アイスコーヒーになりますにゃ。
I like Golden Corral or our Golden. No, the food tastes good at Golden Corral. It's just, you can't trust it. Because, like, they're infamous for not, like... they're infamous for, like, how they handle their food. This is a great Chinese buffet near me. I usually go... Dude, Chinese buffets... okay. Okay. Chinese buffets, I think we can all agree, are absolutely god tier. There is never a time where I don't want to go to a Chinese buffet. They are built different. And the final charge when he always shakes my hairy shoulders whenever he's panicked and confused. The ultimate sin. Yeah, the ultimate sin is angering Mayuri, and he's already done that twice. He's not on a good streak. What do you guys always get at the Chinese buffets? I always get a lot of the General So chicken. $10 all sweet and sour chicken or Beijing beef I can hit. Hell yeah. I also like getting those rangoons, whatever they are. They're little things that have like the crab meat in them, and they're like in like a little like shell. It's like folded up. I don't know how to describe it. They're good though. The egg drop soup is good too. As usual, she pours in milk and syrup right in front of me. And their rule is any takeout plate is $8. You just need to be able to close it. I see. Kurisu watches with great interest. I guess this is her first time at a maid cafe.
デート相手はマユシーかにゃ。
Ferris winks at me playfully while stirring Kurisu's iced coffee.
なぜそこで参りが出てくるのだ？
はにゃ、違うのかにゃ。じゃあ。
You're on a good roll lately with Steins Gate, going 3 to 5 hours based. Hey man, it's that Steins Gate effect. I do hope we can squeeze in a Higurashi watch along today though. I wanted to do one yesterday, but I forgot that I had to do jury duty, which I guess I didn't actually have to, so we could have just did the stupid watch along, so that's awesome. But yeah. I unfortunately had to stop because it was making me fat. Big oof. I mean, if you, like, regularly do exercise and go to the gym, then you can pretty much eat whatever you want, as long as you don't eat too much. That's the big thing about weight. I know, this is coming from a fat guy, I must have so much knowledge. But, like, that's the thing, it's just, like, you can't eat too much. Like, eating too much of anything's gonna make you fat. It's usually about, like, pure caloric intake is what makes you big. I take all you can eat as a challenge. That is unfortunate whatever happened there with jury duty. You should have sent a D-mail and changed the past. Yeah, truly. Well, no, it could have had a butterfly effect where, like, I wouldn't be taken off of jury service for the year. That would be terrible. that'd be the worst ending. Ferris looks like Karisu.
この子なのにゃ
いや、こいつは助手だ。
That was too quick. That was too quick. She wasn't happy about that. Telltale box appears. Carissa will remember that. Karisu and I exchange glares sharper than a sword's blade. I swear sparks are flying.
じゃあ別の子なのにゃ今日待ってばいろんな子に手を出しすぎたにゃ
True. he's got too much of the moves. A real smooth criminal, if you will. The Furto shut down the Karisu real quick.
ほう、いろんな子に手を出しすぎなのか。
何をバカな。
Well, I guess I did hug Ferris. But that was on the 14th, so when I time leaped to the 12th, it was undone. Why would you look at the peasant girl when a queen is in your presence? Jesus Christ. Is Ferris your favorite girl or something, Draft? I shake off a pang of loneliness and return to the conversation. He said, I refuse a diverted off course. She's clearly the best option. I mean, I guess. I don't know. It's a bit, like, too on the nose for me, man. Also, like, the whole, like, pretending like you're an anime character is... Let's be real, it's kind of cringe. Like, it's like, come on, like, let's not mince words here, it's kind of cringe. The next day finds me strolling around Akiba with Lukaku. Luka is a bro. Kurisu's a Soon. Moika's a skinwalker. I imagine anytime Draftkey sees Moika, he just sees Evan Slenderman. He sees William Afton himself. That's their dynamic. The cringe Judy duo. True. It's fine in anime games like these, but if, like, I don't know if I could actually be with somebody that's, like, whole thing is, I pretend to be an anime character in real life. I'd just be like, at some point, I'd be like, Jesus. The next day finds me strolling around Akiba with Lukaku.
次はどこに行きましょうか
Event number 1, lunch at a family restaurant, is already complete. I took care of the bill and now we're back out in the heat. I see myself committing war crimes with Luca rather than dating them. Did they actually just skip, like, a part of the date? That's sad. I've got the entire day planned out in my head. Shut up with the organization. All I wanted was to eat at a nice restaurant. I just wanted lunch. The next event is...
街をブラブラするぞ。しよう。
Aww. She's so happy. It's Obon holiday, so Akiba is crowded. To avoid the crowds, we end up walking through the back streets. My plan is to walk with Lukaku all the way to the Ueno and back. That should be enough, right? I walk quickly. You gotta keep pace with Lukaku. This conversation thing isn't going so well. I tried to follow the guide's advice and be a good listener, but Lukaku's silent by nature. She doesn't really start talking on her own. Even at the family restaurant, the words we exchanged were mostly just things like, "It's crowded today," "It's delicious," and "It was delicious." Very smooth, very smooth. I feel like... Oh, Jesus. I know I gotta remember to read DraftKey's message first before saying it out loud. It's always like a jump scare when I get to like the... Oh, yep, there's the DraftKey part of the message. It always jump scares me every time. Luca is dangerously close to protect here with Mayuri. Yeah, you can't date Luca and Mayuri. One, because they're like 16. And two, you gotta protect them. You have to protect them at all costs. They're in the must be protected category. Like, Mayuri's the GOAT, but you can't date her. But she is the GOAT. She's the greatest of all time. If that makes sense. And I think it was a mistake to just wander around. Especially since we've ended up in a residential area with no interesting scenery whatsoever.
Okabe-san.
Lukaku speaks up. She's a few steps behind me.
なんだ
I stop and turn around. Lukaku catches up and we start walking together again. God almighty, Draft. Do you just lack that, like, mental filter? Is it just an open hole where the thoughts spill out of? Do they just kind of pour out on their own? You're like if the Call of the Void was a person incarnate.
覚えていますか?
If I said these things at work, I'd get funny looks. Ah, now you're just being a coward, Draftkey. Come on, keep that same energy with your boss at the weekend barbecue. Just walk up to him, hands in pocket. You're like, hey, man. You ever look at Lukaku from Steins Gate and you're like, man, I want to destroy that bussy bunker. You know, man. You gotta keep that same energy. It's just not anime related. I mean, you could offer to destroy your boss's bussy bunker. I'm sorry, that's... Never mind. I think, you know what, I think I lack the mental filter. I think it's a me problem, actually.
僕と岡部さんが初めて出会った時のこと
Oh.
Of course, what I actually remember is how I met the male Lukaku. It was during Golden Week in May. I was searching Akiba for materials to build a new future gadget when I saw Lukaku in his Miko garb, surrounded by some cameramen.
やめてください。無理です。
お願いします。写真を1枚撮らせてもらうだけでいいんで。
Oof. Yikes. Yikes.
そのコスプレすごく燃えるっていうか、ここまで巫女服を着こなしてるレイヤー見たことないし。
One time I was at a work function, and I burned myself on the grill, and I said thank you. And people looked at me, why did you say thank you? Was that like an inside joke? Or did you just like burn yourself and that was the first thing that came to mind? Oh man. Did it like leave a blister? Like how long did you leave it on the grill? That's what comes to mind. Oh, I got you. But yeah, man, those burns don't mess around. I've seen people like get like a burn that lasted like a second, and like their whole hand's covered in blisters. There's a few seconds but left to mark. Big oof. Sorry that happened, man.
これはコスプレじゃなくて。
できれば可愛らしいポーズ撮ってもらえるとめちゃ嬉しいんだけど。
Man. What kills me is that people like this actually exist. They're not as like goofily yikes as this, but like there's people like this. I burned myself 2 times this week. Dravki, what are you doing? You gotta be more careful, man. Gotta be more careful.
あ、じゃああれだよ俺。ミコミコオーバードライブの恵みだ。
I have a habit of reaching over skillets. More like dangerous serial killer vibe. Yikes, IRL, yeah. What the hell is Miko Overdrive? A magical girl anime with 5 Miko girls as the protagonist. Its target audience is adolescent girls, but many men in their 20s like it too, for some inexplicable reason. Well, that's just My Little Pony syndrome, I guess. I wonder how far I'm on the tips. I have 2. I have 1 C tip left. I have 2 A tips. I have 1 D tip, 1 E tip. I've got all of G to I. I need 1 L tip. Were you a brony, Mochi? No, but I used to have a friend that was a brony. It was about as miserable as you could expect. I say friend, but he was more like one of those people that was like a friend of a friend. Where it was like you had to deal with them by association. You know what I mean? I have an N tip left. I have an R tip left. I have 2 S tips left. I met a female brony Sonic fan and I accidentally roasted her. Oh no. Oof. You weren't like too mean about it. Well, if you said roasted, you probably were mean about it. There's 1 Z tip that I've never gotten apparently. I've gotten all the number ones. And I got the sub ones. So that's like what, like 8 tips? 7 tips left? I don't have a lot left. I'm surprised we like burned through them so quick. Accident.
来たー！それ最高！めぐみたん知ってるよね？やってくれないかな？
I asked to see her OCs and without thinking I said, what the F is that? Oof, oof. I dropped that on my foot, god dang it. I get that though, DraftKey. I honestly like, especially if you were like younger, I get that. I was especially in my like younger years, like my teen years. I was like on that side of like everything's cringe. This is so cringe. Oh my god, people's interest that they keep to themselves so cringe. You're so cringe, bro. It's like yeah. Oh no, we were like 22. Oof. 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 Oh man. Hey, it happens though. I get it. Oh, you were that guy, Mochi? Yeah, I was that guy. I was like, oh my god, everything's so cringe. As I like read anime and visual novels. Yeah, I was like, damn, you still like Sonic and MLP. I used to be a big like anime hater back in the day. But that was like really young Mochi. I was like, dude, anime's so cringe. But I didn't mean it as an insult. Yeah, I kind of get where you're coming from, DraftKings. It's like something that like it popped into your mind and you're like, what the hell? You just like forgot to like censor it. Good old Golden with the classic chemistry. Golden, make a Walter White reference while you're there. I never was an anime hater. I just never found it as something I would be interested in. Pretty apathetic. I see. My sister was like really big into anime, so like I think it was more of like a sibling thing where it's like, you know what I mean, where it's like, oh, my sister likes it. That must mean it's cringe. You surely.
なんでそんな嫌がるわけ？コスプレして秋葉に来たのって写真撮られるためなわけでしょ？なのに嫌がるとかおかしくない？
Actual psychopathic logic. Actual psychopathic thought process. Jesus Christ. He's 110% that dude that... These dudes are like 110% that dude's like, what, if you didn't want me if you didn't want me staring, you wouldn't be dressing like that. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Genuine losers.
そうだよ。それとも俺たちがキモいから拒否ってるわけ？
I mean, you are losers, but that's besides the point. I remember being in biology and we were discussing a pig and my partner was one of those, like, oh my god, Valley girls. She didn't do shit. Did she eat the hot chip? I have to ask DraftKey. Did she eat the hot chip? Say it ain't so. Say she didn't eat the hot chip. Accidentally wasted pig juice on it. No! She ate the hot chip! Reason why I thought that was because I was mainly exposed to anime like Dragon Ball, Naruto, and the other main popular ones. I assume that's all the anime was. Fight Battle Shonen never interested me. I see. Of course, Takis were big in my school. Dude, the only reason it, like, annoyed me is, like, the smell. Like, I was in a culinary class where, like, it was all hot chip girls, if that, like, makes sense. And you could just, like, the whole classroom reeked of hot chip! It got on my nerves.
違います。これはコスプレじゃなくて。
No joke, a chick in my high school would let you grab her boobs if you gave her talkies. That is... Jesus. Did you, DraftKings? Did you do the trade offer? To be honest, the Miko garb fascinated me. Because Miko are sacred, chosen to serve the gods. I know college girls are doing it for money these days, but as far as I'm concerned, that's sacrilege. I have dignity. So imagine my surprise when I found out anime was much more than that. Sci-fi anime, horror anime, thriller anime, crime drama, high school, etc., etc. I was so whiplash and realized I was a fool. Yeah, it happens. I gave her hot Cheetos. Did she still let you get the squeeze in? Even though it wasn't Takis? Or did you unfortunately just have to give up a bag of hot Cheetos for nothing? Base to draft? Yeah, let's go! My man! Getting the bag as always. I mean, he's a Mochi Kuma fan. Of course he gets a bag. All Mochi Kuma fans take W's no matter what. I would take the squeeze. Was she in my high school? Oh man. As is demanding to photograph a sacred Miko, I couldn't let it pass.
そこのカメラ小僧ども。
え？なんだよ君。
I don't give a fuck, I guess I have no dignity. I remember, like, the popular, like, I guess popular is like a bit of a dead term in terms of, like, high school groups. But, like, the popular girls group in my high school, I remember, like, I was sitting with them one time at lunch because, like, all the other tables were full. All the other tables were full. And they were just, like, I don't know what was happening, but they were just saying, like, incredibly homophobic things that, like, my mind was blown. They're just, like, said something about how they don't understand gay porn or something. And I'm just like, what? Because there was, like, it's so disgusting. I'm like, dude, chill out. My high school was nuts. I remember one day 2 chicks were in a serious fight, and instead of getting a teacher, my friend comes up to me, a clump of hair, and he says, "Look at this souvenir." They're going at it. Sorrentaro saved Luca with his whole tuning act, wholesome based, honestly. Rintaro does have his good moments. That's why I like Rintaro.
この俺を知らないだと。俺の名はホーイン・キョーマ。神が地上に具現せし灰色の脳細胞の持ち主にして世界に混沌をもたらす狂気のマッドサイエンティストだ。
Some good moments. He's made up of good moments. Yeah. I guess I was just like... The sexual assault thing's kind of like tainted my whole view of Okarin, unfortunately. Like, I don't know. I'm just not cool with stuff like that, man. Even if there is, like, something that can be explained. 2% cringe.
何こいつ。マジ吉。
He's nuts.
それぐらいでやめておけ。その巫女が嫌がっているだろう。
I remember feeling bad for the special needs kid. Then, one day out of pure kindness, I sit with him and give him my chocolate milk, and slaps it off the table, saying, I'm not gonna finish that, but Jesus. I tried to make friends with this one kid. I didn't know anything about him, but like he was just sitting on the swing. This wasn't high school. This was like It was like end of middle school, I think. I was trying to make friends with this one kid on the swing. I was like, hey man, what's up? You doing alright over here? Deadass. He grabs like a thing of mulch and he starts throwing it at me like, big on, demon! Like, Jesus, alright, man.
なんという中二病ですか。
かっこよく女の子を助けてセックルに持ち込もうとしてんじゃね？下心見え見え。これだからドキュンは。
Actually, just use the word in case you wanted to know what smacks meant. I think that might actually genuinely be the shortest tip in the whole game. Jesus Christ. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I learned he didn't have friends because but he was an a-hole. I gotcha. Be gone, demon. Reminds me of the one scene from the Grand Blue manga anime. I almost said Chunk Norris. Well, Chuck Norris stunt demon. Ooh. Stunt double. I don't know why I said demon like that made sense to me. You made me think demon.
ドキュンはお前たちだ。か弱い女子に男二人でまとわりつき、天津さえ変態写真を撮りたいと懇願するとは、オタクのプライドすら捨てたか。
いえ、僕は
聖なる巫女を怯えさせるカメラ小僧はカメラ小僧などではない。それは単なる変質者だ。お前たちに聖地秋葉を歩く資格はないと知れ。
I posted the gif of it in general. Let's see. Be gone, demons! Oh lord. I mean, he was basically like that, yeah. I mean, okay. I should probably specify he didn't actually say "be gone, demon." I was just kind of exaggerating, but he's just throwing mulch at me, and I don't know why.
なんだと？可愛い三次元女子をローアングルから狙うのはみんなやってるだろ。
素人のくせにお高く止まるなって言いたいね。秋葉にコスプレしてきてる時点で無差別に取られても文句言えないでしょ、マジで。
Actual loser mindset. Actual psychopathic mindset.
違うんです。僕は男です。
Just dropped it on him. All right. Instantly, our jaws dropped to the ground.
だから僕なんかとっても意味ないんですよ。
Lukako murmured sadly. This is another mindset that blows my mind actually existing, honestly.
え、マジで？
そんなの嘘だ。こんな可愛い子が男のはずが。
男です。喉仏もあります。
Lukako lifted his chin a bit, exposing his pale neck. And that gesture was really sexy, but Jesus. Alright, Okarin. There was indeed a lump on his neck. Believe it or not, 8-year-old taught me this joke. Your mom's like a rooster, but instead of saying cock-a-doodle-doo, she says any cock-a-doo. That's a pretty good one. No, I'm not gonna lie, that's a pretty good one. An 8-year-old taught you that? Man, they're really corrupting the youth these days.
じゃあ下もついているんですか
Lukaku nodded, reluctantly. He was already crying by that point. So were the cameramen.
なんだよ紛らわしいなっていうか男なのに巫女服着てるとかマジ吉だろ取らなくてよかった騙された気分だよ
Actual scumbags of the genuine earth, these two dudes deserve to burn. Actually inflict the 8 circles on them. What the hell? Imagine saying that unhinged, just awful, mean things to somebody's face, dude. Jesus Christ. They left the place, mumbling complaints all the while. Those bastards were a disgrace to otaku everywhere. Daru would have said something like, "Someone this cute can't be a girl." I hate to tell you, man, Daru's not much better. So you're a trap? Awesome! Daru is the true otaku. I guess, man. I was looking after my sister's class one day and said, "Have a yo mama joke battle," and the kids said that. Oh, were you a substitute teacher? Or were you just there? A man or a woman wearing something sexy for the attraction is one thing, but actually sexually assaulting them and justifying it by saying they were asking for is truly effed up. It's just a deranged mindset.
どうもありがとうございました。
ああ、いや。
でも僕みたいな男を助けてがっかりですよね。期待に添えなくてすみません。
お前、名前は？
漆原ルカです。
なぜ俺に謝った？
I was just there. Oh, I got you.
だって僕こんな顔なのに男だし。
There's such a thing as teasing or flirting, trying to hook up with consent. Consent exists, right? I hope it still exists. But like people are taking it more and more to be an optional thing for some reason, even though it is basically the opposite of an optional thing. Am I really lagging? Am I lagging a lot for you guys? Because it keeps saying I'm dropping frames. Am I lagging often for you guys? Because I might need to switch to PNG mochi if that's the case. Consent? What convention is that?
そんなことはどうでもいい。
It's a still image law, I don't know. No, I don't think so. You ain't lagging for me. Okay. You know what? You know what? That's the good thing about being a visual novel streamer. Even if you start dropping frames out of nowhere, it's not like anyone's gonna notice. It's a visual novel. ain't a whole lot of movement. That's why visual novel streamers are the supreme. And Rintaro another W. It truly doesn't matter. Yeah. Like you should fight. You should protect people if they're in a bad situation, boy or girl. Exactly. You ain't missing much. Yeah.
お前が男だろうが女だろうが関係ない。だがその悲願だ根性気に入らないな。
Unfathomably based Rintaro.
ついてこい。お前にいいものをやる。そのアイテムさえあればお前は勇気を得るだろう。お前の中に眠る真の力の存在にも気づくはずだ。
This is 100% the day that like Lukaku like started to develop a crush for Okabe. Literally saw him as like my shining knight in armor. So wholesome, man. I love it. This is the origin story for Luca becoming his disciple base, truly.
どうした？力が欲しくないのか？
いえ、力ですか？
そうだ。俺はお前に力を与えることができる。さあ、求めろ。欲しろ。力を。カメラ小僧にも負けない。お前だけの力を求めるのだ。
They spend their days just waving swords.
まさかその後武器屋本舗に行ってサミダレを買ってもらえるとは思ってもみませんでした。
That is so nice of Okabe, though. You have to give that to him. That was so nice. To, like, look after Lukaku after that whole situation. Because he was obviously pretty shooken up after all that. That is so nice. Rintaro's charisma levels are too powerful. True. I'd be Rintaro's friend. Are you kidding me, man? My man's based. I'd be like, yeah, man, make you sign me up. I'll be a mad scientist.
No. Yeah.
Even I was pulled in by his passionate words. I didn't expect he'd actually come with me. But when he did, I realized that he had potential. That's why I bought him the 980 yen, tax included, demon sword. Afterwards, Lukaku and I went through intense training to develop the Seishin Zanma, School of Swordsmanship. I'll definitely be a lab man. In retrospect, I can't believe I said all that ridiculous stuff. It makes me want to crawl in a hole and hide.
とてもびっくりしましたけど、でも岡部さんがあの時言ってくれたそんなことはどうでもいいっていう言葉はすごく嬉しかったんです。
Wait, hold on, hold, wait, hold, whoa. What? But he was never a guy in this timeline, right? In this timeline, he's always been a girl. Wait, what? Brain hurt. Rintaro growing up, there's nothing more like being an adult than cringing at your teen years.
変ですよね。そんな言葉に感動しちゃうなんて。
I think I'm missing something. Why is she like reflecting on that even though like she's always been a girl? In this timeline at least. Lukaku's cheeks then turn rosy pink. Her blush is too powerful. I have to look away.
でもその言葉があったから
Reading spaghetti? Does Lukaku have reading spaghetti? That'd be like 3 people so far that have reading spaghetti. What? I know that Rintaro, like, explained, like, his time travel, but that doesn't mean Luca should automatically remember the previous timelines where he was a boy, right? Man.
だから好きになったんです。
Aww.
え
Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a goddamn second. Is she saying what I think she's saying? But that Lukaku was a guy. Does that mean I made the guy Lukaku fall in love with me? Yes. You bumbling buffoon. Yes. Faint memories of events that once existed. It's practically like deja vu. Oh god. What? My mind goes blank. Oh god. By the time I drop her off back at the shrine, I've worn out physically and mentally. Boy Luca wanted to ride Okabe Mad Disco Stick. I mean, is there like a problem with that? Like, dang you, Honda. Love is love, man. Love is love. We ended up walking for 4 hours straight, which was tiring, but my mental exhaustion is greater. In the end, we didn't talk much. We just walked.
今日はすごく楽しかったです。
Turns out that you actually just genuinely have reading spaghetti, Ruben.
そうか。
She's just saying that out of consideration. I can tell that she's forcing a smile. All through the date, I couldn't stop thinking about the time Lukaku fell in love with me, so I barely made conversation at all. That manual was completely useless. On this world line, Lukaku was a girl from the beginning, so Lukaku's memories of when we first met might be inconsistent with mine. Even with that in consideration, Lukaku's story still felt out of place.
それではその
Lukaku fidgets as she whispers.
なんだ
そのまた明日
Oh.
あえ
She wants to go on a date again tomorrow? I mean, we are a couple and we are going out, and that means we like each other, and it's summer break right now, so it's natural to go on a date every day.
明日も岡部さんと一緒にいたいです。
No. My heart can't take this chat. Like, it's too wholesome.
どうも。
ダメですか？
ダメなんてことはない。うん、本当に。
よかった。
Wakako smiles again. She looks so happy and relieved. Seeing her like this makes incomprehensible feelings well up inside me.
それじゃあまた明日。
That moment where you're doing something for the first time, but for some reason having a memory of doing it before. I may indeed have reading spaghetti. Not as strong as Okabe's, though. I mean, when we change world lines, the only difference is Luca will have an 8-inch gummy worm. Ritaro, give up. Just give in. I feel a huge weight on my shoulders. Another date tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Ah! Tutturu! おかえり!
リア充は死ね
Stay mad, Daru. Stay mad. You're gonna die alone. Stay mad. Ho's mad. Ho's mad. Okay, turn this. Okay, what's up, man? When I return to the lab, I am greeted by Mayuri's smile and Daru's pure hatred. Dang it, Okabe, don't tell me you think it's a bird in hell. No. Yeah, Okabe's got a kind of a cringe perspective on this, I won't lie. He's looking at it like it's a chore, even though, like, Lukaku is, like, to be protected.
まさか中二病のオカリンに彼女ができるとか飯まずってレベルじゃねえぞ
ルカちゃんとのデートはどうだった
Okay, Nasai, welcome back. Okay. Casual, she added in to be funny.
まあなんとかステージクリアしたかも。
Probably not, actually.
ねえねえ、あさってのコミマ、ルカちゃんとオカリンでコスプレカップルとして出てみようって思ったりしないかな。オカリンからもね、彼氏としてルカちゃんを説得してほしいな。マユシーがどれだけお願いしてもね、ちっとも OK してくれないんだよ、コスプレ。でもラブラブなオカリンからお願いされたらね、きっとコロって OK すると思うんだ。
Sure, what you got, Draftkey? What can I do you for? Luca with penis or Luca without penis? Aren't they both 17? That'd have to be a no. They're both 17, so that's a no. Also, they're in the protected category. Can't do that. Off limits. In Zero, they're 18. Are we playing Zero right now? Are we playing Zero right now?
Kotowaru.
They look exactly the same. Okay, but they're... Brother. If I had to go off of Zero, where they're of age, I'd just say either or. I like Lukaku as a person. You know, I don't think the genitalia would really matter that much to me. Because Kamima is on the 15th. That ain't an answer. It really... It would just be either or, man. I don't know what to tell you. I could take both. Like, I wouldn't have a problem with either one. You know, Dickless is far worse. Well, I mean, like, Lukaku, like, wants to be a girl, so, like... Wouldn't she be happier without PP? I would want the one where she's the happiest. Which would be without PP. Because Kamima is on the 15th. Mayuri is fated to die that night. How am I supposed to spend the hours before her death cosplaying at Kamima?
正直なところ、デートの面白さがさっぱり理解できない。
Okay, but that still means that she wants to be a girl. You do understand that, right? Even if it's for a specific purpose, she still wants to be a girl and feels more comfortable being a girl.
ゲーオカリンてめえ、それは世の中の童貞諸君を敵に回す発言だぞ。謝れ、童貞に謝れ。
Rentaro, Mayuri, Kurisu, Ferris, and Luca need to be protected, and Moeka. Golden, she literally shot Mayuri dead in the head, right in the forehead center, blew out her brain. How do you expect any of us to want to sympathize with Moeka? She killed Mayuri, the most innocent person out of this lab. If she killed Daru, I'd be like, oh, whatever. Moeka and Daru can go burn in a fire and step on an infinite Lego blocks for all eternity. True. Moeka in an industrial-sized microwave.
だって考えてみろ。相手にひたすら気を使い、気まずい中で2人で歩き回って食事をして帰る。どうだ？面白い要素があるか？
I mean, if you lay it out in like its most simple, broken down layman's form, it sounds not fun. But it's about more than that. It's about spending time with somebody you like. Come on, man.
オカリン、そんなこと言うとね、ルカちゃんが悲しむよ。
Mayuri's expression is uncharacteristically serious.
好きな人と一緒にいるだけでね、女の子は
Exactly.
幸せなんだよ。
Exactly.
満足なんだよ。男の子はそうじゃないのかな。
Yes. I turned Moeka into a prison toilet. Oh my god.
だとしたらマユシーは寂しいです。
Why would that make my Yuri sad?
オカリンがマイノリティなんだよ。つうか、デートって言えばエロイベントたくさんあんだろう。
Okay, yeah, don't listen to Daru. Morrissey, what's up, man? I'm just gonna bleach my brain, thanks.
お前は実にバカだな。
何言ってんだよ。手をつなぐとかマジエロくね？腕を組んでおっぱいを肘に当ててんのよ状態とかエロすぎっしょ。
How does this guy have a daughter in the future? Who gets with this guy? How can you like Daru? Rentaro needs to learn the ultimate lesson about going on a date. You don't need to go to a fancy restaurant and act out of the ordinary, being weird to be a date. His wife is an angel, by the way. She has to be... Okay. I have to ask. Do we see his wife in this? Or does she only appear in, like, 0 or something? Watch his wife be my... no. Steins Gate 0. Okay. Let me say this. Just do what you both enjoy. Okay, I'm back. Let me say this. His wife has to be an absolute saint to be able to put up with him, of all people. She has to be the nicest person on this planet. There is no way. There is no shot. There is no shot somebody that is even remotely normal would put up with this guy. She just has to be like the nicest person ever born to planet Earth. Anyways.
そしてデートの終わりにはキスして締めだろ。チキショー、リア充のバカ
エロゲーのやりすぎだ。
ねえねえ、ルカちゃんはいつからオカリンのことを好きだったのかな？
You know what's funny, man? You know what's really funny? Usually when I play like visual novels and it's like they're like dating sims and they have like these bro characters and you're like, man, I wish the bro characters would find happiness. I only ever wish misery for Daru. I wish he genuinely gets the worst ending possible. How have they done this?
いつからって、それは。
とてもびっくりしましたけど、でも岡部さんがあの時言ってくれた
Harsh.
そんなことはどうでもいいっていう言葉はすごく嬉しかったんです。
Daru does nothing but win. Absolutely L take. Absolutely L take.
その言葉があったから。
Daru for sure is the weakest character of the cast in the original. I like him a lot better in Steins Gate Zero. Dude, okay. I've heard I've heard a couple people say he gets better in Steins Gate Zero. He must just have like the biggest glow up of all time. Or something.
だから好きになったんです。
Yeah, because he gets development there. Still Daru, but oh man. I think back on what she said. Something still feels off about her story. I said that Luca's gender didn't matter. I remember that clearly. But didn't I say that because Lukaku was a guy? He's only now questioning this? He wasn't questioning this in the moment? He's Daru, but with the smoking hot babe. Jesus.
そうだ。そうだよ。変だ。
Now I know what feels out of place. I wouldn't have said that to a female Lukaku. So why does this Lukaku remember what I said back then? At least he's entertaining. Sure. we'll go with that. I expect to see Daru with Miss Heat. Golden, do you hate me, Golden? Never say that again. A role model for young men. I hope not. He's still kind of the same guy, but his relationship with Suzuha is pretty wholesome. Even if he is still weird at times. I recall what happened to Ferris.
思い出したにゃ。フェイリスが叶えたのは10年前に死んだパパを生き返らせることにゃ。
If you guys are just doing that to, like, make me, like, kind of, like, get a little upset, that's kind of cringe, I'm not gonna lie. Like, come on, guys. Like, seriously. Like... Ferris regained her memories from before she sent the D-mail. Could Lukaku too have remembered the previous world line where she was a guy? I get it. I get the joke, Golden. Very funny. That would explain everything. However, she remembers that event, and she said she liked me for it, so... Did Lukaku like me even when she was a guy? I think I need to check this out. I think you mean crack ship. Based Morse. The next morning, I head to the shrine to meet with Lukaku. She's already waiting in the courtyard. When she sees me, she smiles and waves her hand. Too cute. Must resist. Yes, Rintaro, yes!
おはようございます。
あ、うん。
今日はそのどこへ
Another guy liking him is so beyond his understanding. It's so tragic. I know, right? It's so... It is like a very early game in like the 20s. Not the 20s, sorry. The 2000s. So like it is still in like the era of like stunted thinking, but still, it's, man, nothing wrong with being... Yeah, I know. No. I'm okay. I'm sorry if I came across it was like I didn't mean to say there's anything wrong with being straight. I'm sorry if I came across that way. It's like how do I explain it? It's like the way they like paint it as like a negative to be attracted to a dude, even if you find them physically attractive. I didn't mean to say that there's anything wrong with... Like I said, love is love. Love whoever you want. It's just like, you know, just common respect. You know what I mean? I didn't mean to say anything bad about like being straight. If I ever come across that way, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Lukaku.
はい。
I make up my mind and throw out the question.
お前には男だった頃の記憶が残っていないか?
You don't have to feel bad about being straight. I feel like I've miscommunicated. I'm really sorry. Lukaku twitches for a moment. And then she hangs her head. What is it? Golden's right. I need to correct this wrong.
そんなことありません。
本当に?
Lukaku just nods stiffly. I consider a more forceful approach, but the words of that dating manual blaze inside my head. Whatever you do, don't make the girl sad. You might get dumped. If I get dumped, then what will happen to our 4-day agreement? Lukaku might refuse to turn back into a guy. No, Lukaku's not like that. Mayuri's life hangs on the balance, so I'm sure no matter what I say, she'll turn back. Or was it naive of me to think like that? Either way, even though I'm doing this to save Mayuri, I can't just trample on Lukaku's pure maidenly heart. Neither one of us speaks. Mutual distrust, suspicion, discomfort? One word could shatter our temporary relationship. Luca is the first to break the suffocating silence.
ごめんなさい。今日のデート中止にしましょう。
Oof! Good job, Rintaro. Luca bows her head and goes back into the shrine office. I hurt her. I feel guilty, but at the same time, relieved. Jesus Christ, dude. I hate myself for it. Instead of returning to the lab, I stand on the bridge in front of the station and gaze blankly at the stream of people. Ferris might be visiting the lab. Ferris was at the lab on this day when I first came to this world line. My actions shouldn't have influenced Mayuri, so she should have called Ferris over to show her the costumes. Right now, I don't want to see anybody. I need to think. But try as I might, no ideas come, no solutions. Lukaku agreed to go back to being a guy if I went out with her for a time. I've stayed faithful to that, so... Faithful? How? I just made a huge mistake back there. I've done nothing but make Lukaku sad. He just now realizes it. Tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 15th. The day Kamima opens. The day Mayuri dies. At the very least, I need to make our relationship last until that evening. Tomorrow's the end. But I'm not that confident I can show Lukaku a fun time. Alright, so instead of fussing over a date, I'll just try something that won't make Lukaku sad. The next morning, after Mayuri and Daru have left for Ariake, I head to the shrine to pick up Lukaku. We hop the train at Akiba Station. When she looks askance at me, I tell her we're going to see Mayuri. Today, it won't just be the two of us. I don't know what to say when we're alone. I'm afraid I'll just hurt her again. Rintaro, you fool! Bakemonoga! I actually did that pretty good. I did the B-roll pretty good. What would Mr. Beast do? He'd definitely know how to handle this situation. He would have just cured somebody's blindness. I don't know, man. He would have brought Luca a jet. He would have bought Luca a jet. When we get off the train at Tokyo Big Sight, Lukaku stares in wonder at the scene spread before her. People, people, people. People as far as the eye can see. He could have bought Okabe an IBA 5100, true. Mr. Beast saves the Steins Gate universe. Moeka and her rounders are about to shoot up the lab, and then out of nowhere, in the dark, deep mist, comes Mr. Beast! And he does his pose. All this game's problem could be solved by Mr. Beast. Welcome to Kamima, the Otaku Festival. It's the first day, so Big Sight's more crowded than usual. This is my plan, to take Lukaku to Kamima. I'm not making her cosplay, of course. Lukaku wouldn't even do it at Mayuri's request, and I don't want to force her to do anything she doesn't want to. We're just here to look and have fun. The first order of business is to hook up with Mayuri and Daru. Those two live and breathe Kamima, so I'm sure they'll have a lot to talk about. Conversation will flow and I'll be off the hook. How wonderful to have friends you can count on. Jesus Christ. Coward. Coward. Of course, bringing a date to Kamima is a surefire way to earn myself the hatred of otaku everywhere. But no matter. I'll endure their contempt if that's what it takes to make Lukaku happy. So resolved, I strike out through the crowd towards our designated rendezvous point. Lukaku, clearly overwhelmed by the sheer number of people, struggles to follow behind. Near the edge of the parking lot, I see the petite Mayuri wave her hands high. There aren't as many people here. Oh, CG? Nice.
初めて来たけどすごいね。 ゆっくりしていってね。
ダルは
ダルくんはグッズを手に入れるために並んでる最中だから抜け出せないんだって。
Oof.
ひとしきり戦利品をゲットしたら合流するかもって言ってたよ。
Dang. That means he won't join up with us for at least another hour. Couldn't he forego the battle just this once? Lukako's eyes dart from place to place. She's clearly uncomfortable in the chaotic atmosphere. There's still some awkwardness between us after what happened yesterday. Even on the train ride, we barely spoke to each other. What's the point in being a couple if it turns out like this? It was easier to talk when we weren't supposed to be boyfriend and girlfriend. Lukako seemed to enjoy herself more too. Was it a mistake to bring her to Kamima? Well, Lukako didn't refuse, and even when I told her we were going to Kamima, she just nodded obediently.
今日はマユシーが会場を案内してあげるよって言ってもね、人が多いから邪魔にならないようにしなくちゃ。まずはコスプレ会場に行って、それから中に入ろうかな。
Mayuri's more cheerful than usual. She must be happy to have us here.
ねえねえ、二人とも何が見たい？
ルカ子、見たいものはあるか？
いえ。
Lukako shakes her head.
よくわからないので、岡部さんの見たいものを見に行きたいです。
俺は別にそれほど興味があるわけじゃない。
Very, very smooth, Okabe. Luka looks so cute, no sus. Lukako looks unhappy. Crap, I shouldn't have answered like that.
ねえねえルカちゃん、コスプレ会場に行ったらね、絶対にコスプレに対する考え方が変わるよ。
Mayuri talks happily to Lukako. I'm glad I chose to rely on this ditz who can't read the mood.
恥ずかしいとかそういうのはちっともなくてね、みんなとっても楽しそうなんだから。マユシーのコスを着てくれてるレイヤーさん、楓ちゃんと吹雪ちゃんって言うんだけど、二人のことも紹介するね。
It's just L after L, Ruben. It's just constant L's. He's fumbling the bag.
でね、できれば明日も来てほしいな。そしたらね、オカリンとルカちゃんの分のコスも用意しておくから。
コードジアス。
オカリンにはね、コードジアスのゼロサム様コスが似合うと思うんだ。
コードジアス。That's pretty good. Oh shit, wrong one. Code Geass reference. The protagonist of Code Geass, he is the young noble of the rebellion who hides his identity behind a mask. That's good. The only bag he better not fumble is the one with Lucas balls. A smash hit TV anime series broadcast in 2006. The story revolves around a young man who obtains a magical eye that can control minds and uses it to start a revolution. By the way, that show slaps. If you haven't seen it, you're doing yourself a disservice.
オカリンが一緒ならね、ルカちゃんも安心してコスプレできるでしょ。どうかな、いいアイデアだってマユシー的には思うんだ。
I feel like you could get into it even if you didn't like mechs. It's really that good because I'm not into mechs that much either.
却下だな。
ごめんなさい。
Only mech shows I've seen are Gurren Lagann and... Or Eva and Gurren Lagann. Yeah, I must say it. Code Geass, entertaining show, but its writing leaves a lot to be desired. I don't know, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it's been a while since I've watched it, but... I liked it a lot. I'd probably have to do a rewatch to get a better opinion of it, but... I liked it. Mayuri slumps her shoulders in disappointment. In the end, Lukaku and I got fed up with the amount of people and left Ariake early. Very nice, Okabe. Possibly the worst date ever. We took the direct shuttle bus to Akiba that only runs during Kamima, but it was so cramped inside, I thought I was gonna die. Stream all of Code Geass. I can't do that. That's copyright. Lelouch and Suzuka are probably the best written characters of the show.
No.
By the time we get back to Akiba, Lukaku and I are exhausted. My feet feel like blocks of lead, and I don't have the energy to even attempt conversation. Just your OG Bayer PNG over everyone's head. Hmm? What? What? The two of us schlepped back to the shrine without speaking a word, like Spanish monks under a vow of silence. Lukaku doesn't raise a single complaint, but taking her to Kamima was obviously a mistake. Lukaku's expression has been stiff ever since we met up with Mayuri. I'm not into mecha shows much either, but I've watched a couple good ones. 86 and Macross are what come to mind for me. Maybe she's still traumatized by otaku. The first time I met Lukaku, he was being harassed by... Shit. Hold on. I dropped my mouse. Of course I dropped it under the chair, dude. Come on. The question is where under the chair? There it is. Mouse secured. I've got the bag. I've secured the bag, chat. I've secured the bag that is my mouse. No, idiot. She's just having a bad time with you. Like, yeah, come on, man. You went somewhere that neither of you liked nor cared about. Maybe they left a bad impression. We don't talk. We spent most of the day shoulder to shoulder with strangers. I could probably count on my fingers the words I said directly to Lukaku today. When we arrive at the shrine, our time as a couple will end. Just go back to the shrine and swing swords like you usually do. Yeah! So this is our last chance to talk as boyfriend and girlfriend. But I'm confused. What should I talk about? I try thinking about things we have in common. Demon Sword Samidare? The Seishin Zanma School of Swordsmanship? But Kurisu said to avoid Chunibyo topics, and the dating manual concurred. Okay, but like, you don't have to do everything by the book. Obviously, if like someone's into you, they're into you for like who you are. Like, Lukaku probably likes that Chunibyo side of you, man. what else is there? It finally dawns on me. There's nothing else Lukaku and I share. Silence dominates the shrine. Silence should be calming, but it's not. I've safely escorted Lukaku home. It's hilarious how Rintaro has no problem talking to Luca normally, but make it a date, he fumbles everything. I know, right? Future Luca is badass. Nice. I'm excited to see that, actually. Mayuri's death is just 3 hours away. The temporary relationship between me and Lukaku ends here. Now I just need Lukaku to give me her mother's pager number. However, is it really okay to let it end like this? In the end, what have I done for Lukaku? I haven't done squat, have I? All I've done is hurt her. Oh. Suddenly, Lukaku starts sobbing. She covers her mouth with both hands, but can't stop the tears pouring from her eyes.
Lukaku.
When I approach her, Lukaku pulls back. Lukaku wipes the corners of her eyes, but the tears keep flowing, forming a glistening line down each cheek. I'm speechless. I have no idea what to do. The girl is crying before my eyes. It's my duty as a man to comfort her. I know that, and yet no words come. I just stand there like a useless statue. That's in Steins Gate Zero. Besides from what I remember, you don't actually get a good look at Luca in the Zero VN. It's the anime that actually gives her a full-on design. The cause of Lukaku's tears is undoubtedly me. I didn't treat her right as my girlfriend, even if it was only a temporary arrangement. And now it has to end with me watching as Lukaku cries. Lukaku. I'm the one who did this to her. I'm the cause of her grief. And yet... She thanks me and bows her head.
Huh?
She lifts her head and smiles shyly through her tears. She's 100% lying, dude. Exactly, don't be content with this. He did not treat you right at all. That's a lie. It has to be a lie. To my surprise, Lukaku takes my hand in hers. Her hand is very warm and delicate. This is the first time I've touched her since we become a couple. And it'll be the last. Lukaku places a note in my hand. And then she pulls away. She bows her head again. Lukaku turns her back to me, and then disappears into the shrine office. I look at the note. There's a number written there. Probably her mother's pager number. She kept her promise. But I didn't keep mine. I can't let it end like this. I run full speed back to the lab, ignoring Kurisu's calls to stop. I slap on the headgear and leap to the past. Let's go! Doing the right thing. I'm glad he didn't just take the number and then just straight up do the D-mail. He's trying to fix it. He's trying to fix it. Okay, for some reason he only time leaped like a couple hours. Yeah, redo that date. Regaining consciousness in front of Akihabara Station. Lukako is next to me, and we're about to board the train for Kamima. Lukako looks a little anxious, but she doesn't raise a single complaint. The shuttle bus pulls up, and the huge line of people begins to move. We can't go to Kamima like this. F Kamima, yeah, dude, you all were miserable there. Shaking off my time leap-induced vertigo, I take Lukako by the hand.
ついてこい。
Once we get out of line, I let go of Lukako's hand and start walking.
岡部さん、バス来てますけど。
小見間に行くのは中止だ。
え？
俺は好きにやらせてもらう。
Okay, good so far. Doing things his way? I think that's based. I think that's based because that's who Lukako likes.
岡部さん。
Hey, Fuki.
どこへ？
Hope you're doing well today, Fuki.
岡部さん。
I keep walking with Lukako's hand in mind, ignoring everything else. Lukako looks bewildered at first, but eventually she says no more and just starts following me with a sad expression. Very tired, but okay. Oh. Well, hopefully you get some rest and all that gets good and healed then. How are you doing today? Doing good. We're reading some Steins Gate. Okabe is trying to learn how to treat someone right on a date. Because apparently that's just foreign knowledge to him. Well, okay, to be fair, he's like never been on a date. I gotta give him credit. I gotta give him credit. He's not been on a date before. And he's not good at social stuff. I gotta go easy on him. I gotta go easy on him. We arrive at Yanabayashi Shrine, a place devoid of visitors, where an aura of peace and dignity dominates, where the cries of the cicadas resound. Lukako's home. Finally, I turn to face Lukako. Instead of letting go, I grasp her warm hand even tighter than before. Perhaps it's the heat, or perhaps it's her nervousness, but our hands are damp with sweat. Back to the shrine. We're dueling with our blades. 100%. But still, I don't let go. Lukako is hanging her head. She might cry at any moment.
これで恋人関係は終わりっていうことですよね。
Her lips tremble. Her voice trembles. I summon my resolve and answer her with a laugh.
何を勘違いしている。
Every time I see Samidare, I have to remind myself it's not Samehada. Isn't that the freaking blade that Kisame has? What's up, Golden? It's here. I don't know what that means. No, you're wrong. It's only the beginning.
俺たちの恋人関係はまだ終了してないぜ。
The shark one, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. That Kisame was awesome, dude. I didn't really like Naruto like that, but Kisame was dope. I strike a pose and mimic a line from a popular card battling anime. I still don't know what you mean, Golden. His Sasquatch erotica has arrived. Oh, that's what it is. I put a picture on Discord. I don't know why you couldn't just say it, but okay. See? You got some Japanese stuff? Nice. Hell yeah. Until I witnessed Mayuri's death, this was how I acted all the time. Now it takes some effort, but I still have it in me.
でも
Golden sure does love his Japanese stuff.
さっき言っただろう。俺の好きにさせてもらうと。さあ、我が弟子よ。今すぐ妖刀さみだれを持ってくるのだ。
The wind blows. The tree growing over the main building rustles its leaves in response. Lukako looks at me blankly. Tears form in the corner of her eyes.
なんです。
なんですだと？決まっているだろう。精神残魔流の修行だ。
修行？
この2ヶ月近く、俺たち2人でやってきた修行、忘れたのか？
いえ。でも岡部さん。
今日まだ。我が名を忘れたのか、ルカ子。俺は狂気のマッドサイエンティスト、法王院京馬だ。
Swallowing my embarrassment, I strike another pose.
男だとか女だとか、そういうところで俺は混乱して、ルカ子との距離をうまくつかめずにいた。だがな、俺とルカ子の関係は初めから決まっていたんだ。そのことにようやく気づいたのだ。
決まっていたって何がですか？
俺は男でお前は女で、俺たちは今日までの仮初めの恋人。
I take a deep breath. I gently comb my fingers through Lukako's hair. I twist my lips into a grin. Ayo?
そんなことはどうでもいい。
Oh?
俺は俺であり、ルカ子はルカ子であり、ルカ子は俺の弟子だ。
As I gently stroke her hair, Lukako puts her warm hand on top of mine. This is based! This is based! Based character arc for Rintaro. The tears collected in the corners of her eyes suddenly fall.
そうです。
Well...
じゃなくて、京馬さんは確かに僕の師匠です。
Let's go! Genders matters not. We are who we are.
よく言った。さあルカ子よ、サミダレを持ってくるのだ。
はい。
I love this.
待っててくださいね。すぐ取ってきますから、ここにいてくださいね。
どこにも行かないさ。だから早く行くんだ。
Lukako reluctantly lets go of my hand, shyly turns away from me, and heads to the shrine office. We spend 4 hours training, just like we used to. Aww. I wish they showed some scenes of them training. Like them having fun. I wish they'd showed that, but you can't ask for everything, I guess. Practice swings with the demon sword. Stories of the sword's history. Okabe is Kyoma, and Luka is his disciple wielding the demon sword. That is who they are together. Lectures on the intricacies of Seishin Zanma swordsmanship. All fabricated for my Chunibyo delusions. I talk, Lukako, dressed now in her Miko robes, listens with rapt attention. Occasionally, we take a break, sit on the shrine stairway, and eat the sweet rice balls Lukako's mother brings us. Hey, delusions have power here. Exactly. And that's how we spend an extraordinarily ordinary 4 hours.
Yosh! 今日はここまで.
Lukako lowers her stance and slowly sheathes the demon sword Samedare. She looks so beautiful and majestic standing there in flowing white robes, sword shining in her hands. I find myself mesmerized once again. Lukako bows, snapping me out of it.
ありがとうございました。ちょっとだけ強くなれた気がします。
謙遜しなくていい。今日、お前は精神残魔流奥義の一つ、32式さくらんぼを得得した。
Type 32 cherry bum.
だが過信はするな。お前はまだまだ弱いんだからな。
Exactly, Ruben. That's all he had to do. Just treat her like he normally does.
はい、もっともっと京馬さんに教えてもらいたいです。
Aww. The breeze feels nice after the sweat we worked up. We savor our comfortable fatigue as we drink the barley tea Lukako's mother brought for us.
久しぶりに京馬さんのお話聞けた気がします。
ここ何日か、俺の意識はマニュアルという恐ろしき封印術式により不安定な状態だったのだ。
Exactly, Ruben. Ruben's spitting. Tea. I just can't get into tea. I can't. I can't get past the initial bitterness. I just can't. I had some lemon chamomile tea tonight. It was good. Nice.
だがもう完全復活した。心配かけたな。
よかった。いつもの京馬さんが戻ってきてくれて。
I've always thought it was bitter. I don't know. Maybe I'm just drinking the wrong tea. Lukako answers happily. And then her expression turns serious, as if she's made up her mind about something.
昨日僕に聞きましたよね。男だった時の記憶が残っているかって。
ああ。
Lukako looks away. I see her hands fidgeting in her lap. Finally, with trembling lips, she speaks.
僕覚えているんです。
Oh shit. No surprise. I expected she'd remember after what I experienced with Ferris.
覚えているというか、なんて言ったらいいのか、とても儚い感じ。
Transient?
儚い。
はっきり思い出したわけじゃなくて、記憶の海の底の方というか、頭の
Then Lukako starts pawing at the air above and to the right of her head.
この辺にあるような感じです。
I don't really get it.
とにかく覚えているんだな。
Lukako nods. I look forward to a rom-com Steins Gate with Lukako as a root and playing it serious. Nothing wrong with a homosexual romance. Exactly! Exactly. It just doesn't need to be, like, stiff around it. Black tea definitely is more on the bitter side. American sweet tea is just regular black tea with like 3 cups of sugar. There's actually a larger variety and not all of them are necessarily bitter. Although, I mean, like, let's not mince words. Let's not mince words. Like, Okabe is shipped with Kurisu, and then nothing can change that. Let's not mince words, alright? We gotta put Okabe with Kurisu. They fit together better than anybody.
すみません。昨日は嘘をついちゃいました。
Yeah, but you killed I didn't kill Kurisu.
気にするな。この俺、法王院京馬を欺いたのだから大したものだ。
そのおかげでお母さんのポケベルの番号も僕聞かなくても知っているんです。
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a visual novel for a reason. Let us have our happy ending. She takes out a piece of paper upon which is written the number.
今日はどんな結果になってもこれを渡すつもりでした。それからもう一つ。
One more thing?
記憶のことと関係しているかどうかわからないんですけど、古いパソコンのありかについて。
Oh, 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 oh! Hey, I almost did the Leonardo whistle and like snap. Hey, hey, hey! Oh, that I didn't expect.
IBN5100 のことか。
はい。多分そうだと思います。
True, like Lukako did seem like she knew something about the IBN 5100. Plus, Luca's dad confirmed that it was here at the shrine. And then one day, it suddenly disappeared. Does Lukako know where it is now?
それが事実なら。ルカ子、お前は男に戻らなくても済むかもしれない。
But Lukako faintly shakes her head.
それは無理だと思います。
Oh?
なんで？
Lukako grips my hand.
ついてきてください。案内します。
She looks into my eyes. Lukako's no longer crying. In the fading sunlight, her eyes shine with firm resolve. She brings me to Daibaru. I look up at the huge towering building.
ここに IBN5100 が。
そっちじゃなくてですね。
Lukako faces away from Daibaru and points. To a coin locker tucked in a narrow alley.
去年のお正月前。
Lukako walks up to the coin locker as she talks.
その時までうちの神社にあのパソコンはあったんです。
Until New Year's. That's a contradiction. It was only 2 weeks ago that I found the IBN 5100 at Yanabayashi Shrine. Which means I really haven't returned to the original world line.
僕のせいなんです。僕が神事のお手伝いで倉庫をお掃除していた時に誤って壊しちゃったんです。
Oh. Well, I mean, stuff happens. It's okay. We can fix it anyways. Oh, please don't cry though. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, Lukako.
壊した？
Don't freak out at her. Okabe, don't freak out at her. Lukako nods.
でももしお父さんに知られたら怒られると思って、それでこっそりここまで持ってきて、コインロッカーの中に隠したんです。
I wonder why him being changed to a girl changes it to where he accidentally breaks the IBN. Because, I mean, from what I understand, he still did, like, shrine sweeping duties as a dude. So I wonder how that changed things.
よくここまで持ってこられたな。あれは尋常じゃない重さだぞ。
Just cause and effect, I guess. Butterfly effect. True. Penis powers. Probably just change the location. Yeah, that's true.
家にあった台車を使いました。そのせいで台車まで壊れちゃったんですけど。
Is Luca's height different? I have no idea. She seems like generally the same person. Just, you know, different bits. Yeah, I think it's the same. Even so, it must have been hard to get it here with just a pushcart. Maybe she was running on adrenaline.
京馬さんが探してるって聞いたとき、僕すごくびっくりして。
It's okay, Lukako. It's okay.
本当のことずっと話そうって
Don't
思っ
listen.
てたんです
It's
けど、
okay. It's okay.
嫌われるかもしれないって考えたら
No, 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 no.
言い出せませんでした。
It's okay. It's okay.
バカだな。そんなことでお前を嫌うわけがないだろう。
Exactly.
何しろお前は俺の弟子なのだからな。
Exactly. I was worried that Okabe was gonna freak out at her for a second, and I would have been really angry. Gender change, but literally nothing else. Same personality, same confidence issues. Yeah. Her principal became Princess Pocket. Jesus Christ. So with each world line change from the DMLs, there are different circumstances that become the reason we don't have the IBN available. Yeah. Moeka's gonna be tough, man. I can already tell. Moeka's gonna be rough to try to do. Lukako takes the locker key out of her pocket.
もう1年半以上放置したから管理会社に持っていかれちゃったかもしれませんけど。
1年半放置か。だとしたら絶望的だな。
The locker charges 200 yen per day. 200 yen per day. Normally, if a coin locker goes unpaid for more than a few days, management retrieves the contents. And if the owner doesn't claim it within a month, it's usually thrown away. Meaning the IBN 5100 is already... Lukako goes to a large locker at the end of the row, inserts the key, and tries a lock.
あ、鍵かかってないみたいです。
Oh?
確定だな。
Oh, well, yeah. Sure enough, Lukako opens the door to reveal an empty locker. Sag. Oh well.
すみません。
It's okay. Lukako, it's okay, alright? Things happen, alright? We make mistakes. Either way, it doesn't matter. There's no point in retrieving a broken IBN 5100. Exactly. But I don't tell her that.
お前が責任を感じなくてもいい。俺が安易に世界を歪ませたのが
Yeah.
一番の元凶なんだからな。
Yeah, exactly.
京馬さん。
That's why I must bear the burden. Mayuri's pain, Tsuzaha pain, and Ferris's pain. And now, Lukako's pain. Something occurs to me. Luka's a naturally apologetic person, it seems. Anything goes wrong, they apologize. Damn. What if? What if I send a D-mail telling Lukako not to sweep the storehouse? Would that change the world line? How would the IBN 5100 stay at Yanabayashi Shrine? Would the IBN stay at Yanabayashi Shrine ready for me to retrieve in August as planned? I doubt that would work. Part of me wants to try sending that D-mail. If it works, Lukako could stay a girl. I don't think that would work. No, I mustn't give in to the temptation. My goal is to restore the world line, not warp it further. Fix the past to save Mayuri. That's my mission.
僕の記憶、なんだか奇妙なんです。
奇妙とは?
It might also change the attractor field, yeah.
僕の記憶の中には、あのパソコンのことについての2つの記憶が混ざっていて。
Could go from alpha to something worse, right?
一つはパソコンを壊した僕の記憶。もう一つはそんなパソコンは全然知らないし、倉庫のお掃除もしなかった僕の記憶。男だった僕はパソコンを壊してません。倉庫の掃除の代わりに本殿のお掃除をしていたから。
Okay, so that's what it is. That's what it is. The place Lukako swept changed, is what it is. So Lukako swept the storehouse because she became a girl. Because she swept the storehouse, she broke the IBN 5100 and deposited it into this coin locker. As a result, the IBN 5100 will never reach me. Is this the butterfly effect?
やっぱり僕が男に戻るしか方法はないみたいです。
I have to wonder, chat, do we even need to worry about Moeka's D-mail? If we could just get the IBN from fixing this? Because I remember this is the main one that denied us the IBN. If we just get the IBN, then we don't have to do anything else. We don't have to bother with Moeka. I wonder. There's no longer any doubt in her eyes. There's no choice. She knows it as well as I. We return empty-handed to Yanabayashi Shrine, which is dyed scarlet by the setting sun. Lukako lets go of my hand after we arrive. We spent the whole walk hand in hand. We'll see. Either way, Moeka can still be a problem. Us simply having it attracts her to the lab. Yeah, true. Then she turns to me.
今度こそお別れですね。
ああ。
京馬さんと修行ができて本当に良かったです。
Oh. She smiles shyly again. But her cheeks are dyed pink. We'll never be safe from Moeka and Stern as long as we're here, yeah. I will say, after we get the IBN 5100, we need to cut all contact with Moeka. And never allow her back into the lab. Because if she finds out, it's over. Like, it's actually over. If she finds out that we even have the IBN 5100, it's over. I can tell she's desperately holding back her tears. But those tears hold a different meaning than the ones I saw before I time-leaped. At least, I'd like to think so.
俺はお前に 恋人らしいことは何もしてやれなかったな。
そんなことはどうでもいいですよ。
ああ、そうだった。
I'm sincerely relieved. Because Lukako smiled for me.
まゆりちゃんのこと助けてあげてください。
We will. Thank you so much, Lukako. Why does my fucking phone keep going off? Jesus Christ, don't ruin this moment, phone! Jesus.
まゆりちゃんは僕にとっても大事なお友達ですから。
Oh. We'll save her. You can count on us, Lukako.
ルカ子。
I wonder if that could be a good idea, though. Blocking her will only bring Moika closer either way. She's a persistent F. Yeah. I don't know.
もう行ってください。でないと僕泣いちゃいそうで。
No.
だからお願いします。今日までありがとうございました。
Kako.
こういう時は例の合言葉ですよね。
From what I remember, Rentaro had told her the address of the lab. I don't know, how did she find the lab in the first place again? I think he told her the address.
エルサイコンガリ。
Oh god, that's about to make me. Oh god! I was about to say it's about to make me cry. Congoli. Elsai Congoli Lukako. Thank you so much for everything.
コングルーだ。
I find myself smiling. Lukako forces a smile too. Who knew Elsai Kongru would make one cry? I know. Thank you, Lukako.
エルサイコングルフです。
Let's go. Elsai Kongru Lukako. She bows deeply. She doesn't raise her head. A sign for me to go already. Let me catch up on chat. I mean, as long as Okabe never actually obtains an IBN or builds a time machine, Moika has no reason to come after him. Yeah, but we kinda need to, though. I turned back to the archway at the shrine's entrance. My feet are heavy. They won't advance. I stop in front of the Oh. Dude, you better not tell me I made another mistake. Then I take up my phone. Oh, okay, never mind.
もしもし岡部、まゆりから電話あったわよ。プンプンしてた。あんたが小みんなに来る約束をすっぽかしたって。
Oof. Sorry, Mayuri.
クリスティーナ、今から言う番号を電話レンジカッコ仮に入力してくれ。
何よ。どういうことか説明して。
いいから頼む。これから D メールを送る。
I hear a sigh on the other end of the phone.
番号は
Forgive us, Mayuri. I tell her Lukako's mother's pager number with another string of numbers attached. What does this message read? Meat, 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 veg, veg, meat, meat, veg, veg. Jesus Christ. When she sees this, Lukako's mother will probably think it's a prank. And then she'll assume the D-mail we sent earlier was also a prank. Food. If that still doesn't change the world line, we can just try something else. Pages in 1992 don't display the sender's number. Lukako's mother won't know who sent it. I already told Karisu the timer setting. Everything's ready. I hang up once I confirm that this 42-inch CRT is on. Now I just need to call the phone wave name subject to change. Then the next world line will change. Lukako will turn back into a guy. Let me bring up my phone. Mochi, don't screw it up this time. Your memories will disappear. Why can't I use my phone? You know what? Yeah, that's a good idea. Save real quick. Just in case. Mayuri won't die today. However, I hesitate to open my address book. My thoughts turn to Lukako, who is probably still watching me from behind. It's not... God damn it. I feel like I'm gonna mess it up. If I turn around, what will I see on her face? I want to check, but I don't think she'd want that. Kako finally smiled for me today, but I still have lingering reservations inside. Is there a reason the phone's still up? This time I'm about to sacrifice Lukako's memories. Maybe you were too late. There's no way. They wouldn't do that to... They wouldn't do that to me. They wouldn't do that to me. How do you pull up the phone on the keyboard again? The memories of the 17 years she lived as a girl on this world line. Memories of her... Z or C? Okay. Well, that's not doing anything either. Am I glitched? This isn't a glitch. Oh, God. Memories of parents who rejoiced when their daughter was born. I'm about to erase all of that. But if I don't, I'll be rejecting the 17 years Lukako lived as a guy. I'll be rejecting the memories of his parents, who rejoiced when their son was born. Even so, is it okay to turn Lukako back into a guy? I'm lost and cannot take another step. I've sacrificed the memories of 2 friends already. The sight of their tears is burned into my mind. Something soft presses against my back. Lukako has embraced me from behind. Chill, Mochi. Dude, y'all got me scared. Are you frantically tapping? I hear faint sobbing. What expression is she making now? Even without looking, I can tell.
僕、本当は戻りたくないです。
Words are like needles stabbing into my heart.
だって男に戻ったら岡部さんへのこの気持ち封印しなくちゃいけないから。
Oh. Don't do this to me, game. Now I'm feeling bad. Oh.
男なのに岡部さんのこと好 きでいちゃいけないと思うから。
No, it wouldn't. That's stunted thinking. No, it's not wrong. I have nothing against homosexuals, but unfortunately, I am heterosexual. I won't be able to answer Lukaku's feelings if he's a guy.
それに今日の記憶も消えちゃうんですよね。手をつないで一緒に歩いたことも。
Dang you, straight Okabe! See, this is what I meant when I thought original Luca never wanted to be a girl. Luca just believed it was the only way their feelings could be accepted. I don't know about that.
久しぶりに二人で修行をしたことも、
Oh.
こうして今岡部さんの体に触れていることも忘れたくない。僕忘れたくないです。だって好きだから。
You can't do that to us! That's not fair!
好きだから。
That's not fair, Lukaku. Fuck. That's not fair. You can't say that right now.
まゆりちゃんを助けたい気持ちは僕にもあるから、しょうがないって理性では理解できていても、
Oh.
やっぱり辛いです。
I'm sorry, Lukaku.
せめて今日の記憶だけは残しておきたかったです。こんなに辛い気持ちを味わうって。
Don't do that to me, Draftkey. Don't y'all make me second guess myself. Don't. We have to save Mayuri! I need to save Mayuri.
女の子になりたいなんて願うんじゃなかった。
God.
ルカ子。
すみません。そんなことはどうでもいいの気持ちですよね。
That's not true, Lukaku.
お前が男に戻っても俺にとってルカ子はルカ子だ。それは変わらない。
はい、そう言ってもらえて嬉しいです。
The voice actors in this game are absolutely amazing. Absolutely god tier. Teach him how to be bi-emoji. I wish I could, but it's not something you can teach. You either are or aren't, man.
岡部さん、メール送ってください。お願いします。早く
God.
送って。これ以上岡部さんのぬくもりを感じていたら僕
Lukaku, don't do this to us!
もっと嫌なこと いそうだから。
Turnus, don't you make me feel bad too?
気持ちを我慢できなくなっちゃうから。
It's okay, yeah, it's okay to want your happiness, Lukaku.
だが
Is this really okay?
岡部さん、お願い。
It's only fair that I share. I'm about to sacrifice someone again. Is it my place to make that decision? My fingers tremble around my phone. But Lukaku embraces those trembling fingers with her own.
僕のこと覚えていてくれますか？
I can't leave her on that! Oh my god! Wait, no. I'm save scumming. I'm save scumming. Hold on, I'm save scumming. I'm save scumming. Hold on.
はあ
With just one call, the phone wave name said to change. I can send a message to Lukaku's mother pager. Okay, all right. I just wanted her to hear that. I just wanted her to hear that. One call. Okay. Come on, guys. Hey, come on, guys. Cut me some slack. Respect minus respect points. Not very cash money. I didn't want to accidentally advance too far again. Lukaku places her finger on top of mine. On top of the sun button. Cuts Mochi's slack.
ありがとう岡部さん。さようなら。
Says coming in a VN. The tragedy.
好きな人。
You want to have your femboy girl cake and eat it too. That's not how things work. Oh my god, I just read that line. I'm about to cry. Oh my god. I'm sorry, Lukaku. I'm sorry. We'll come back and do your route. I promise, Lukaku. Lukaku's gonna be the first route we do after we save Mayuri. Guaranteed. Because sayonara has a connotation of goodbye forever. Oh. We're doing Lukaku's route next. Guaranteed. I can't leave her like this. Oh my god, we went all the way to 0.5%. Endless apoptosis. Remember when we started on the Ferris route? Draft key! I have explained countless times that that wasn't my intention. Okay. We've made it to chapter 9, boys. I like that chapter. Okay. So, like... Okabe made some, like, cringe choices in the chapter, but, like, overall I liked it. Like, just getting to spend some time with Lukaku, it was nice. It was nice, okay? Getting character development, it was just nice. I like Lukaku as a character. She's very sweet. Moika's root is a sledgehammer to the elbows. Oh no. Oh no. Not again, not again. We will have to do it another time though. Probably Saturday. Tomorrow we are doing another collab on Parquet with good old Leah. Good old friend Leah. And now it's serious time. There is no Moeka root here. Oof. Moeka's root is really sad. Moeka root? Oh, whatever. But, let's see. Is Leah still on? me see. Does not look like it. Or at least I don't see her. No, she's not. Okay, no, she's not. She's not online anymore. We'll raid Cheza, Dan. We'll raid Cheza. Leah's not. We could raid Cheza. Yeah, let's raid Cheza. Raid Cheza. Cheza Okami. Raid my sister. My model sister, that is. Solid stream. We made some good progress. Have a good one. Might see if the Higurashi will watch along if you still do it later. Yeah, might do it at 11. I'm not sure yet. This is the greatest bear raid shit of all time. I wonder if you'll play the sequel next. I plan to, Turnus. Where's the thing? Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and raid Cheza. I hope you all guys have a good day. I'll see y'all later, and yeah. Bye-bye! Have a good day! Bye-bye! Bye-bye! Bye-bye!